No one suspected her at first. When Susan Smith stood before cameras, America saw a broken mother. Her face was pale. Her lips trembled. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she begged for help. She said her children had been taken from her. She said her heart had been ripped out. For 9 days, the entire United States believed her. But behind those tears was a decision so dark that it still shocks people decades later. Susan Smith was born into a troubled family. Her childhood was filled with instability, emotional neglect, and trauma. From a young age, she struggled with depression. As a teenager, she attempted suicide more than once. People around her knew she was fragile, but no one imagined what that fragility would one day turn into. By her early 20s, Susan was married to David Smith. On the surface, they looked like a normal young American family. They lived in Union, South Carolina, a quiet town where neighbors knew each other. Susan had 2 sons. Michael was 3 years old. Alex was just 14 months old. Michael loved his toy cars. He followed his mother everywhere. Alex was still learning how to speak, holding on to life with innocent trust. But behind closed doors, Susan's marriage was collapsing. David had grown tired of Susan's emotional instability. Arguments were constant, trust was broken. Eventually, David filed for separation. To Susan, this was not just a breakup, it was abandonment. It reopened every wound from her childhood. Around the same time, Susan began an affair with a wealthy man. She believed this relationship would save her. She believed it would give her the life she always wanted. But when she told him she had children, everything changed. He told her clearly, he did not want kids. He did not want responsibility. He did not want her life. That rejection shattered her. Susan began to see her children not as blessings, but as obstacles. In her mind, they were the reason men left her. The reason her life was painful, the reason she could never start over. Her thoughts grew darker with each passing day. Instead of asking for help, instead of walking away, she chose revenge. On the night of October 25, 1994, Susan bathed her children. She dressed them in their pajamas. She kissed them goodnight. Nothing about her behavior seemed unusual. Michael hugged her. Alex smiled at her. Then she placed them in the car. She buckled them into their car seats carefully, like a mother who did not want anyone to suspect what came next. She drove quietly through the town, toward John DeLong Lake. It was late. The area was dark and empty. The water was still. She stopped the car at the edge of the lake. For several moments, she sat there in silence. Later, she would claim she hesitated. That she cried, that she was confused, but the car did not stop. Susan stepped out of the vehicle. She left the engine running. She put the car in drive, and she watched. The car rolled forward, slowly at first, then faster. It slipped into the lake. Water poured inside. Inside the car, Michael realized something was wrong. He screamed. He tried to unbuckle his seat belt. He cried for his mother. Witnesses would later testify that his last words were, "Mommy, help me." Susan stood there. She did not move. The water rose. The screams faded. The lake became silent. She turned around and walked away. Within hours, Susan reported a carjacking. She told police a man had stolen her car with her children inside. She described him in detail. She cried hysterically. She collapsed into David's arms. The media exploded. News stations ran her face nonstop. Volunteers searched forests and highways. Helicopters scanned lakes and rivers. Candlelight vigils filled the streets. Susan appeared on television again and again, begging for her children to be returned. She cried perfectly, but detectives noticed something strange. Her timeline did not make sense. Her details changed slightly each time. No witnesses saw the carjacker. Most importantly, Susan seemed to perform grief rather than feel it. After 9 days of intense questioning, pressure closed in. Investigators confronted her with evidence. They challenged her story again and again. Finally, she broke. Her confession was cold and quiet. She led police to the lake. Divers pulled the car from the water. Inside were Michael and Alex, still strapped in. Still trapped, still trusting. America erupted in anger. People who had prayed for Susan now hated her. Mothers cried for children they never knew. Talk shows debated how such evil could exist. At trial, the courtroom was filled with emotion. Prosecutors described the murders as calculated and cruel. They argued Susan killed her children not because she was insane, but because she wanted to hurt her husband and erase her responsibilities. The defense argued mental illness, severe depression, emotional trauma. They said Susan did not fully understand her actions, the jury did not accept mercy. In 1995, Susan Smith was convicted of 2 counts of murder. She was sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole for 30 years. The judge's words were harsh. He said Susan had betrayed the deepest bond in human existence: a mother's duty to protect her children. David Smith's life was destroyed. He later said the only way he survived was through forgiveness. But forgiveness did not mean forgetting. It did not erase the screams, the images, or the unanswered questions. The case changed America. Police became more cautious with missing child reports. Media stopped blindly trusting emotional interviews. The public learned a terrifying truth: sometimes the danger is not outside. Sometimes it is the person children trust the most. So where is Susan Smith today? Susan Smith remains imprisoned at Leith Correctional Institution in South Carolina. Over the years, she has been involved in multiple prison scandals, including inappropriate relationships with guards. These incidents caused public outrage and reinforced the belief that she had never truly changed. She became eligible for parole consideration after serving 30 years, but the parole board has not approved her release. The family of her children strongly opposes it. Michael and Alex were buried together. Their graves are still visited by strangers who leave toys, flowers, and notes. People who never met them still mourn them. This story is not just about crime, it is about ego, it is about revenge. It is about what happens when pain turns into selfishness. This was not a monster hiding in the shadows, this was a mother. And that is why this story still haunts America today.